Welcome back. It's been quite a tough year, and many South Africans are looking forward to getting away for a well-deserved break. But Rachel says there are a couple of things you need to do before you take that holiday to ensure that your family is well taken care of should anything happen to you. Now, Best is the founder of Heritage Vault, a web-based estate planning service, and she joins us now live via Zoom. Rachel, thank you so much for your time, and good morning to you. Now, you write down and document 8 important things to do before you take on your holiday and travel. And just want to go them list by list because they're quite important. But I want to get the context behind why you found these 8 particularly significant. The first is your last will and testament. And I just wonder if a lot of people, A, have one, and 2, even think that's even necessary to check and have before you travel.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me. You know, your last will and testament is such an important document. Currently in South Africa, we see around 70% of working South Africans dying without having a last will and testament. And, whereas your last will and testament contains everything that will happen to your assets and specifically, guardians for your children, that is just, we think that is not enough. But one of the things that you need to make sure is update your last will and testament and make sure that your family has the original signed version before you travel.
And also, I mean, there have been a lot of cases, Rachel, just when it comes to the last will and testament, where families have often argued, oh, it's fake, it's a fake document. This is after the deceased has passed, obviously. And there was so much debate on the legitimacy of a real document. How do you ensure that your last will and testament is legit, is original, and, of course, is placed where your family can know where to find it?
So it's important. You're absolutely right. I mean, there's been a number of cases where family, argue specifically after someone's death. And it's important that that original copy, that you keep a copy with perhaps your home, in your home, in a locked safe where your family knows where to find it, but also with someone independent, So for example, your financial advisor or your executor, maybe an attorney or your bank. A lot of the banks offer that service nowadays as well.
Yeah. Also equally important in terms of documents that your family needs to know where they are is your personal documents. Now, which of these personal documents are important to keep safe?
Even basic things like a copy of your ID document, a copy of your marriage certificate, even if you have them, copies of your parents' ID documents and marriage certificates. I know when my parents passed away a couple of years ago, those are the types of things that I just couldn't find. And it's so important to wrap up your estate. Also, if you think about personal documents, you think about things like your funeral policies, funeral policy, a life insurance policy, and we live in a digital world. So most of these documents no longer get posted to you. We don't use snail mail anymore.
Yeah.
That goes into your email box. And if people don't have access to your email accounts, that's also important because a lot of these personal documents you won't find hard copies of anymore when you have to go and sort out someone's paperwork.
Another interesting one that you've also listed here, Rachel, I mean, it's not necessarily a legal document in South Africa yet, but it's equally important, a living will. Take us through that.
Yes, so your living will actually is an important document to not leave at home, but to actually have with you when you travel. I mean, a lot of our holiday season started in South Africa, and we know how many people go on holiday and they just don't return, unfortunately. Especially our road deaths are so high in South Africa at this time of the year. So it's important that your living will, that it says what your wishes are when it comes to, you being in a serious motor vehicle accident, as example, and that you keep it with your other travel documents and perhaps a copy with a loved one staying at home.
Yeah, I think that's another one that I personally also didn't think about, but equally important. The next one, I think it's another one, Rachel, that you would agree with me, causes a lot of, conflict amongst family members. Should, you not have the right document in place to actually say where what goes, to whom? That's an assets list. That is so important because that will help your family manage your assets properly, at least to your will, right?
Yes, 100%. I mean, if you look at your will and testament will typically say, if I die, my parents inherit X, my children inherit Y. Um, but what you don't necessarily put in your last will and testament are things like your cryptocurrency accounts. I mean, a lot of us have some of these accounts now, and if you don't have the actual details of being able to log into that cryptocurrency account, now it is absolutely digital. So if you pass away, that's gone. Other things that also is, I look at my own art collection, and I have a very specific taste in art, and not everyone appreciates that. So your family members may actually think your art isn't worth that much, but it is. And it is something that you need to leave to someone who actually feels your art like you do.
Well,
Other things that I can think about in terms of your assets is, do you, for example, have a storage unit, or do you have one of these deposit boxes at a bank? And does someone know where to find the key to that, so that once you're gone, that isn't just left to that storage unit or to the bank to sort out.
couldn't agree more with you, and I appreciate you, of course, talking to us about this, Rachel. So important. Some of the also important notes you make account of here is making plans for your fur babies, knowing where your pets will go should you not come back home. So important. And what will happen with your social media and digital life. And I just wonder if people thought about that. But of course, Rachel, that's where we'll have to leave it because of time. Thank you so much for joining us, founder of Heritage Vault, giving us some tips on what to do and what to ensure is in a safe place for your family members and loved ones to find should you unfortunately not come back from that planned holiday.